Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this round of 4 series in the ASUS ROG Stars Invitational. Both these guys look like they're ready to get started, and a little bit of a shock to the system there for SeleCT.
Yeah, most definitely, but this is a best of 5, so unlike best of 3, he's not just one game away from losing the tournament, which could build up and put a bit of pressure onto SeleCT, but he has a comfort area now where he has another 2 games to lose in a row if he was to just drop out of the tournament. But the next map is going to be Crucible Toe, which would favor a more defensive expansion style.
Yeah, and we've seen that from SeleCT as well in the series against Damaga. That worked out well for him. So let's see what happens. Here we go. I bring you SeleCT. He's in the blue trunks, and he is playing Terran to the southwest of this map for Team Dignitas versus his opponent, currently 1-up in this best of 5 series from Team Acer. It is Elfi. He is in the red trunks playing Protoss to the northeast.
And well, the way I mean defensive expansion style is that compared to Terminus and what we just saw is a very wide area on the natural. On this map, there is that double cliff down or that double ramp down, and it's very difficult to actually engage up a ramp, especially if you don't have sight range up there as well. And that will favor SeleCT if he does decide to go for a gasless expansion again. On the other hand, Elfi, on this map, I suppose the best style that would favor his kind of traits, I suppose you could say, would be 2 base Colossus, very fast, 8-minute 30 Colossus, maybe 2, potentially wait for a 3rd as well. And that may catch a lot of people off guard because they like to get engineering bay up early, couple of medivacs, and they won't really have any Vikings to deal with that style. But anything can happen in this series.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad build to go up against SeleCT either. We've seen SeleCT and his preference, and that tends to be Marine Medivac, Marauder where necessary, but very heavy on the Marines, very heavy on the Medivacs, not so heavy on the Viking count. So a strong 2-base timing attack with Colossus could turn out to be extremely effective here. But it is dangerous to assume that SeleCT will do the same thing every time, because we've seen, especially in previous series in this tournament, that SeleCT has learned a lot of new tricks and is perhaps a lot more flexible than he used to be.
Yeah, and we do have that supply depot going down, blocking the probe from scouting anything. Could be hiding 2 things, really. The majority of time it is just hiding, as we can see, that fast expansion. But it could have been gas, so Elfi doesn't know exactly what's going on, but SeleCT's style remains the same. He's very consistent with that, so he's probably, you know, Elfi's thinking that it is that gasless expansion once again. And we're not seeing a Zealot out from Elfi here, and he hasn't taken the 2nd gas either, so Stalker probably coming out to do a bit of poking action once again, and then a bit of pressure too. And he's also shown that he's gone Cybercore before Pylon once again here as well, and SeleCT stealing that 2nd gas, making sure that no tech structures are allowed to come out super early. Interesting
play considering what happened to him last game. He got 4-gated on 1 gas, and one has to wonder if it's a good idea to... losing SCV there. Nice catch there by Elfi, but is it a good idea to force Elfi down one particular path? Because here's the thing about Elfi. Elfi will consistently use the same strategy as long as it works, and will then switch up when it ceases to function, which is a very good idea in a best of 5. In a best of 3, that's not necessarily a great play. In a best of 5, you can definitely afford to do that. At this point, Elfi is actually going to expand quite early, which is interesting, considering it was not a Forge Fast expand or anything along those lines. But we're not seeing any of that 1-base pressure from him. And I have to wonder if Elfi is thinking, well, SeleCT is trying to force me down one path and is prepared, and to be honest, he is as well. He's got 2 more barracks coming up right here, building the bunker, and this is a much, much easier natural to defend against any kind of early pressure. So Elfi responds by saying, all right, let's go for the 2-base and perhaps this Colossus build that you were suspecting.
Oh, this SCV actually manages to survive in the bottom right, and SeleCT sent it out as the Stalker was killing the Assimilator. Kind of brought the SCV some time to get out there and hide. And the probe in the middle of the map did see it, though. So Elfi knows it is somewhere. And basically what SeleCT wants to achieve with this, and actually he slips out, which is amazing for him. He wants to find, does my opponent have an expansion? Yes or no? Because if he doesn't, I need a 2nd bunker immediately. And in this case, he should be able to find out that there is an expansion as the SCV comes up now. He sees it. And at the same time, if we look at Elfi's base, there is an incredible fast robotics facility, and the SCV should be able to find it here. Oh my god, probes are going to try to deny it as well.
A lot of probes coming off the side right there. He's flanking around the back. He's going to get this. He will see that it's there. Oh, did he spot it?
He didn't. That is the big thing there. He didn't see it, so he could have seen that early. Oh, look at the scan.
Ah, there you go. He knew there was something there.
No messing about from SeleCT, and gets that scan. He now knows what his opponent's style is, going for that extremely early robotics facility. And he's also taking the gases, double gases immediately on the expansion. So we should be seeing Colossus play come out super fast here. And basically what SeleCT needs to do against that is go for super. There is the robotic space we can see now. He needs to get out 2 medivacs straight away, harass with these medivacs, split them up, attack the natural, attack the main, and just defend well against any pushes. And if he can do that, he should be able to advance into the later stages of this game with a comfortable lead.
Yep, and that's exactly what he's doing. Reactivist coming down the factory for a swap around for the starport, and he's also working on stim. The nice thing about going against a 2-base Colossus, assuming there is a nice thing about that, is that it does give you a lot of time to get stim out, whereas with Elfi's aggressive style earlier and with the length of stim research time now, it's difficult to get that out in time. SeleCT now pushing out, wants to try and apply some pressure. A lot of investment in tech for Elfi, and the potential for SeleCT to do a little bit of damage here, just poke at that ramp. A lot of sentries, not a lot of firepower. Elfi should be able to block this area off, although he'll be forced to use a lot of energy to make that happen if SeleCT decides to get aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing with this map as well for Protoss, is that you can hold the ramp with just a single 2 force fields. A single sentry here can hold it off, and hold it off for a long time after that as well, if need be. But there is the thermal lance being researched as well. The gateway count is not that high. It's actually still only at 2. He should be adding a couple more gateways very, very shortly to kind of buffer in front of that Colossus to make sure it does maximize in damage. And here come the 2 medivacs. We'll be interested to see, does SeleCT go for more medivacs after this, or will he switch over to Vikings nice and early? I suppose he should be looking to switch over, but here comes 2 medivacs. Now, the Observer is following the medivac, so Elfi knows exactly what's going on. And if Elfi can defend against this 2 medivac pressure in multiple areas, but remember, there's only 2 gateways and a single Colossus, it's going to be difficult to defend in multiple areas if SeleCT decides to split up.
Yep, he's adding on 3 more gateways, and we can have a look and see if he's chrono boosting the Colossus. He is, so he's trying to get that out as quickly as he can, knowing the pressure is coming. Now, the force fields, of course, become significantly less effective because it's very easy to elevate past that. Elfi has bunched up his very small army into the middle of the base to try and intercept this drop. SeleCT gets everyone on the ground before he goes, and there's the stim, but easily denied there by Elfi. There's no way that's getting in there. The Colossus shut that down, and SeleCT gets out there without any casualties. And we'll continue to try and pressure this because this little ball of units is quite immobile. Colossi never want to be caught out on their own, so he's always going to move at the speed of the Colossus, which is not very high.
Yeah, and I'm really intrigued to, why didn't SeleCT split his medivacs up? I mean, the entire army was in the main base of Elfi. He had nothing defending the natural, and having dropped there, could have done a bit of damage, but now he's left in an awkward situation where my opponent's now up to 6 gateways. How am I meant to harass? He's got too much stuff now, and then all of a sudden, after Elfi has enough of defending, he's going to have this incredibly strong push coming. 3 Colossus right now. And it doesn't even look like he's going to build a 4th one. He's just going to go with this. The probe is in the center of the map as well. And getting a Ghost Academy this early on as well is not going to help SeleCT that much because it's going to take too much time, too much money before they come out, before this attack actually comes in. Here it does come, TotalBiscuit.
Yeah, Ghosts are not going to contribute to this in any way, shape, or form. The Viking count is not as high as I would like. 3 Colossus, but only 4 Vikings. That's not enough. The Colossi will do a lot of damage before this hits. He's also going to hit before +1 weapon comes in for SeleCT. SeleCT has already taken some limited damage already.
And we are seeing SeleCT split up those 2 medivacs, which stayed there, and he's going to drop. Like I mentioned early on, he has to harass, but he has to defend. That is more important. And now Elfi, Guardian Shield's up, he's going to go in.
Yeah, and this is the best idea for Elfi right here. Don't turn around, engage, force your opponent into a confrontation where you have superior numbers. The Colossus position is not so great. He needs to back that one off. One already taken down here by SeleCT's focus fire. Lots more force fields going down to prevent those repairs. Another Colossus falls. SeleCT holds it for the time being.
He does, but look at the probes that have been killed for Elfi. A lot of probes have gone down now. SeleCT just has to defend against this, and he will be in a decent position. The Colossus finally goes down.
That last Colossi is falling right there. Select's count is good enough. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Select equalizers 1 apiece in this best-of-5 series.
Wow. That's all he had to do. Drop in these multiple areas and defend. That's all he had to do. And there wasn't quite enough there for Elfi. And as mentioned earlier on, that choke area is so hard to fight up.
Yep.
I mean, all your units clump up, your zealots are not always at the front as well. You can't maximize the damage from your army as well. And Select taking full advantage of that in a comfortable defensive position. Pulls the series back.
Yeah, definitely. What I've noticed actually about Elfi is, even in the series he's playing against Huck, when he gets to this point where he wants to engage, no amount of harassment is going to stop him from doing that. He will go for a base trade. He will not try and defend against harassment. He will just go for it, and if that attack fails, he's done for. There's no coming back from that. So it's really an all-or-nothing situation there. Same thing happened there. If that attack was to fail, he had nothing to fall back on. He'd lost too many probes.
It's good to see that there's enough chairs for everybody to sit in on the left and right. Everybody's comfortable sitting down, watching the games.
Yep. It's unfortunate that we don't have more chairs. Got a lot of people on the left and right. Everyone wants to see this. I imagine it's going to be quite crowded for the finals. Whatever the case, we've got this round of 4 coming up now, and we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back at Game 3 of Elfi versus Select.